Ready to go. Excellent. Okay, it is 5:31, and I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Human and Community Services Committee for the West Hartford Town Council. Thank you for joining us. We have with us this evening committee members, Deputy Mayor Liam Sweeney and Councilor Alberto Cortez. We also have Mayor Cantor and Councilor McGinnis with us this evening, Town Manager Rick Ledwith, and we have Helen Rubino and Laura Ermsher and Jerida. So thank you to all for joining us. And we'll go right ahead up to business item 2A, the resolution revising the schedule of fees for various recreational facilities. And I will turn it over to Helen, or Rick first, I guess.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. I'll just give a little bit of context to this, and good evening, everyone. So tonight, first up is a revision to our Cornerstone Aquatics Center fees. The fees at Cornerstone have remained at the level they've been at since January of 2021. And we had previously discussed an adjustment going back a few months now with the committee. And at that point, the committee asked us to take a look at some of our increases across certain categories, as well as look at some of the rates that are being charged of communities with similar facilities as Cornerstone. So we have had a chance to do that. And based on that research, we have amended or lowered, I should say, some of our increase and have a draft for your consideration and discussion tonight that makes some modest increases, but keeps us at or below similar facilities in our area. So through you, Madam Chair, I will turn it over to our director, Helen Rubino Turco, who can provide a summary of our draft proposal for discussion this evening.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Rick, and thank you, Madam Chair. As Rick explained, we haven't raised the rates at Cornerstone for 3 years, almost 3 years. And in that time, the minimum wage has increased by $3 or 25%. So we do need to close the gap and kind of get closer to our target revenue markers. And this facility does operate in the Leisure Services Fund. And therefore it sort of operates as in a business model. And for that reason, we do look at comparable facilities. And comparable facilities in our region include the JCC and the YMCA. Those are the two major kind of indoor aquatics facilities that offer a variety of things. And we are well below them, even with our price increase, pretty much across the board. For example, we don't charge a new member registration, or if your membership lapses, we don't charge a registration fee. The other two do. So we are proposing to go up by $1 per month in individuals, whether it's residents, non-residents, seniors, and also families, family households, senior couples, everybody going up $1. Those increases are in the range of 1.2 to 2.7% increases. So very modest increases in each of those categories. Generally it's about 2.3% increase. So again, we haven't raised these since these are the rates that we had in 2019, in 2020. And we increased them at that time. So we've basically had the same rates for a while. In the non-member fees, we suggest going up $1 per entry. And these non-members are obviously, some of them are residents, some of them are children, some of them are non-residents, non-resident children. And we sort of did a little bit of a deeper dive there. But basically we get about 2,000 guests who are not members per year, maybe a little bit more. And the majority of those are resident adults. But again, we're going up $1 per visit. So even though that's a 10% increase for them, it is still fairly modest when you think about it in terms of the 25% increase that we've had just in the minimum wage for and the boat rises, right? So lifeguards get a minimum wage plus whatever. So the boat rises for all of those. But also on other things like in the maintenance area, particularly in the area of pool chemicals, the prices have really gone up. So we feel that these increases are reasonable and will help us close the gap. The full facility rental, that would go up. This is where we rent the entire pool to another school like Simsbury or Avon or Kingswood. But it's also for regional groups like the CIAC comes in and wants to do a meet. Well, they pay for that. And so it doesn't affect most of our users. It doesn't affect the school groups. It doesn't affect what you'll also see here is the WAVES program has been eliminated from the rental. And that's because we took it in-house. So they pay as a for that program rather than renting the pool as an outside group. And the participation has increased more than it was before when it was run by a community group. So we're really pleased with how Cornerstone has handled, that WAVES program, increasing it. It's multiple seasons. I mean, it's not just in the summer. So they've really made it more of as it's designed to. You learn how to swim, you can join the swim team there, and then you can get prepared to eventually swim on the high school team. So that's been a wonderful program. And when we get to the swim lesson fees increasing, one of the, basically you'll say, well, you didn't increase, it went from 85 to 85. The 6 lesson model versus the 7 lesson model fits the cycles much better. And it also, it's a better model according to my staff to organize the swim lessons. And so in order to kind of give you apples to apples, I decided to break it down in a per class cost so that you could see what does that mean when you go from 85 for 7 lessons versus 85 for 6 lessons. And so the price increase there is about 16% for the group lessons for the members and about 8% for the non-members. So it goes from $12.14 per lesson to $14.16 per lesson. And you might, and for the group, for the non-members, it goes from $18.57 per lesson to $20 per lesson. And so, your logical question there goes to, well, what are our comparable organizations charging? And in the swim lesson area, our comparable facilities are Farmington Valley YMCA, the JCC, Rocky Hill School of Swim, and the St. Joe's also offers swim lessons. Some of them are only available to members, so you would have to factor that in. And some of them, have, some are 4 weeks, some are 12 weeks, some are indoor, some are outdoor. So again, I tried to boil it down to a per lesson rate to try and give you apples to apples. And basically, we are still below all of the comparable schools, whether you are a resident or a non-resident, a member or a non-member. Some of the most recent pick I took was Farmington Valley YMCA has a member class that costs $87. It's 5 weeks. And for a non-member, it was $120. So basically their classes cost $17.40 or $24. Again, very much, in the same ballpark as what we're charging, but still a couple dollars more. So we're really comfortable with these changes. And what can we expect in terms of a budget impact, of course? All things together, we think it's between $38,000 and $40,000 increased revenue to the bottom line at Cornerstone. The membership portion, and that's the dollar increase for the swimming membership, would probably generate between $20,000 and $25,000 per year. The daily rate is fairly minimal, but it adds up to about $2,000. And the group lessons would probably generate about $6,000 more in revenue. And if the facility continues to be popular as a rental for various schools who either are doing their own renovations or who have eliminated their indoor pools, it could be as much as $10,000 in increased revenue just for that full facility rental. I can pause here and answer any questions you may have, and then move on if that's the case.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much for that explanation. And I think we all recognize the increase in cost for the chemicals and just everything, as well as the increased labor costs, and appreciate that you and the rest of the team are trying to keep any increases to a very bare minimum. So I will ask my colleagues if they have any questions at this time. No? I do have one question, which is, how much would we want to raise from Cornerstone, and does this get us all the way there, or does it just get us part of the way there? I guess I'm trying to figure out, are we going to be in deficit with these proposed increases, or will we be in the black?
That's a great question. We are very close to Cornerstone breaking even. We are negotiating a new contract, just an extension of the contract with them right now. So their charges to us will go up as well, but in a very modest way. We do feel that this will help bring us across that line. And so, as I said at the onset, this does help close the gap significantly. The operating budget there is over 1.2 million. So again, but every little bit helps. So I think that this is a wise reinvestment. We do have something that, a facility that is almost there. It's run really well. The way they've changed it, they took over in 2018, and they were hit with a pandemic. They were hit with multiple construction projects. They've been really patient. They've made adjustments. We've also increased. This is separate from Cornerstone, but they also now manage the outdoor pools for us. The employees, we still hire the lifeguards and the supervisors, but and we maintain the pools, but they set the schedules and they do the training. So they've really been great partners with us, and we're really pleased.
Great, thank you. And then the other question that I had is, do we know, or do you have handy the ratio of residents who use the pool to non-residents?
Sure, I do have an answer to that. It's many more residents than non-residents.
Gotcha.
But we have, if you really want to know, we have over 4,300 residents who swim at Cornerstone and over 750 non-residents.
Okay, so it's about 6 times as many.
So those residents, obviously some of them are family memberships as opposed to individuals, but we have basically 2,400 member units and 700 non-resident, 2,700 resident members and units and 700 non-resident units. So like a married couple is a unit, or a family is a unit.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Last chance for any questions on this item. And if not, we don't need to vote on this, I don't think, but we can just sort of provide a little bit of acclamation for this to move forward to town council for our August meeting, right? Everybody okay with that?
Yep. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Sure. Without objection, we will approve these and move these forward to town council. So
Thank you.
And we'll now go to item 2B, the resolution accepting a grant from North Central Area Agency on Aging to support behavioral health services, and turn it back over to you, Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It seems just about every meeting lately, we are talking about a grant that Helen and her team have secured either through leisure services or social services. This is another $5,000 grant we've received through social services, and through you, Madam Chair, I'll turn it over to Helen to talk about the good news.
Great.
Thank you, Mr. Ledwith. The North Central Area Agency on Aging is the organization that we wrote a grant to and received. We applied for and were awarded a grant of $5,000. And this is to support people who have hoarding disorder. And this is actually quite a large problem in West Hartford. This is an issue that if some years ago was diagnosed as a disorder, and therefore has a lot more attention and some protocols to help treat it. And we started what we called a hoarding task force, which is now renamed the Safe Home Task Force. And it involves police, fire, building, health, social services, and the Corporation Counsel's office. And they really take a holistic approach to helping address people with hoarding disorder. And this will help us move forward some of the programs that they're involved with. We actually have a group session that is led by one of our social workers, where different people sign up for it because they want to get help for this disorder. And so we do track and kind of do our best to make a dent, to help relieve this issue in our community. This will help us do that.
Great, thank you. Appreciate you applying for this grant, and I know how desperately it is needed. Questions from committee members? Okay, great. Well, thank you. Thanks again. We'll look forward to approving this one. Moving on to communications, Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just two quick things. One, the meeting minutes from June will be in our September meeting. We didn't receive them in time enough to post them for approval this evening, but we'll have them on the agenda for September. And and I don't want to take any wind out of Laura's sails, so she's going to do a nice little report on some of the press that we received on our new fine-free library program. And just wanted to take a moment really to thank Laura for her leadership and moving that initiative forward, and then certainly to members of this committee and our town council as a whole for your support of this program as well. So that's all I had under communications. Through you, Madam Chair, I'll turn it back to you for the remainder of the agenda.
Thank you, and what a great segue. So we will move on now to staff reports, and we'll go to the library update, and I will turn it over to you, Laura.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm happy to be with all of you this evening. And thank you, Rick, for your kind words. I'm really excited to share an update on our Fine Free launch. We have received some really great press about this change in our policy. We began it on July 1st and have been trying to get the word out to our patrons. And Channel 8 News did an interview with me that aired on their news program a few times. We also I spoke with reporters from CT Insider and the Journal-Inquirer. So the response has been really positive from the public. I think it's really helping to get the word out too from the news outlets. We've been hearing from the public how happy they are about this change. Staff have told me they've talked to people who have said specifically they haven't been back to the library because of their fines, and they saw this and they came back. We're receiving tons of books that have been overdue that people are returning. Some books have been over 200 days overdue, so they're bringing them back, and most importantly, they're coming back to the library, which is why we did this. And I'm so happy to see it working so quickly, and I look forward to continuing to tell people about the change and welcoming everyone into our library, because we've got great stuff and great things happening. And I'm going to tell you about the great things. So I want to give you an update on West Hartford Reads. So I mentioned at the last meeting that we're hosting acclaimed author Nick Hornby. He'll be here on October 12th. And leading up to the big event, we're hosting 4 book discussions that are going to be led by local librarians, not ours, but our partners at other libraries. And they'll be happening in August and September. We're featuring his books, Just Like You, Juliet Naked, Funny Girl, and High Fidelity. And we have plenty of books and DVDs available by Nick Hornby. And so stop by the library and get ready for this great event. We have been having fun this summer. I would like to tell you about some of our great family-friendly events that have happened. We had over 300 people join us to kick off summer at Bishop's Corners Ice Cream Social. We served over 11 gallons of ice cream and several pounds of candy and cookie toppings. And the size of the kids' eyes as they were like, "Can I have all of those?" And we said, "Well, ask your parents." But it was a really fun event, and a lot of people were enjoying Bishop's Corner, and several people commented that they hadn't been into that library but heard about the ice cream. So another way to get people in. Our Bookworm Fest was amazing. We had that a few weeks ago. Several hundred people attended the event celebrating Dungeons and Dragons and all things fantasy. And we're already discussing how we can make this an annual event and make it bigger and better. And then on just this past Saturday, we had 86 kids brave the sweltering heat to participate in our Book It Children's Fun Run. We had 3 different untimed races. We were on the field at Charter Oak. And honestly, the real hit was the 50-foot long bouncy house that we had. And kids were using it to limber up for the races. And if it's summer, it means I'm here to talk to you about summer reading. We've got programs for all ages. Our Adult Summer Reading Challenge is going on now through August 31st. Our theme is Revitalize. And what better way to imbue your summer with new life than read books in one of our 30 summer reading categories? Perhaps now is a time to read a book that makes you laugh, it's about a place you'd like to visit, or you just chose it because of the cover, and 27 other categories to choose from. Participants can earn chances for bi-weekly ingrained prizes, and we also have staff competing, and we have a leaderboard on our website so you can see how you stack up against me and all our other librarians. Not that I'm competitive, but check it out. It's a good time. We also have programs for teen and children. Our Teen Summer Reading Bingo is for teens in grades 6 through 10. They can complete a bingo card for a chance to win prizes. And our Children's Summer Reading Program theme this year is Oceans of Possibilities. We have a video up on our website that was shown at the schools to get kids ready for the program. And we think some of our staff is famous now because kids come running into the library saying, "I saw you on the video at school." So we're always excited for them to come in and get their pamphlet and start filling out the activities. We have Facts and Fun, our big summer program that kicked off on Monday, July 10th, and it's off to a great start. We have 25 children in the first session that are in grades 1 through 3, and each day is a new adventure for them with their book buddies, mad science, and visits from some reptilian friends. The second session begins on July 24th, and this will be for children in grades 4 through 6. And we are very grateful to the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving for supporting this program. And finally, I'd like to leave you with some featured resources. And this month I'm highlighting book group kits. So if you're a member of a book group and you want to get a bundle of the same title of books, you can come to us. We'll check them out for 4 weeks. They are renewable. We have a list of all the titles that we have available, and we do update it pretty regularly. If you have any suggestions, you can let us know. And so if you want to know what's available, or if you're looking for ideas for your group, you can check out our website or give us a call, and we're happy to recommend some for you. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Councilmember Cortez.
More of a comment. I just want to say thank you for all the work you're doing, Laura, as far as the outreach. I'm seeing all the events on social media, so whatever you're doing a great job. So thank you.
We're having a lot of fun.
Great. Other questions or comments? All right, thank you. Thank you again so much. And now we will go on to item 4B, Leisure and Social Services Update. And Helen, you're back on.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We've already covered a couple of items on my update report for you. I did want to mention that the Hillcrest Area Neighborhood Outreach Center, HANOC, we leased that from the West Harvard Housing Authority. That lease has expired. And so a new lease is being negotiated, and we'll have that ready for a resolution on August 22nd. So because it's a lease, it goes to the town council. I just wanted to put that on your radar. It's basically the same lease that we have now, but it's kind of reset. There's some slight changes that we can talk about if necessary. It hasn't been signed yet, so I can't, but there's really nothing major, no major changes there. Our summer programs are going well despite the rain. Most of our camps end on August 18th. The Buena Vista camp continues one extra week, so it's really very popular with families. And the pools close on August 20th. We do have the Pooch Plunged, which is very popular. It's scheduled for Monday, August 21st at Beachland Pool. And that is managed by the West Hartford Dog Park Coalition. They manage, pretty much all of the check-in and the behavior and the rules, and they collect donations for that event. And it's always very popular. Our department provides a lifeguard, not for the pooches, but for the people, and also a site manager just to help with, to facilitate the event. And also in the area of pools, we are planning family swim nights at our pools in the first week of August. They're going to run one per week at each pool. We haven't set the dates yet, and we're working on a promotional flyer for that. So we will push that through Cornerstone's website, as well as the Leisure Services Facebook page and Instagram. At your last town council meeting, you accepted a donation from a senior bequest, and we've received 2 others. And so we're going to just, we've convened a little group to kind of pause and make sure, because there's multiple ones now, just to manage them, make sure that all the stipulations are correct and the correct location and eligible activity is being funded. And so we'll bring those to you probably in September. But it is really lovely and wonderful that people who've enjoyed being a member of the West Harvard Senior Center or the Elmwood Senior Center want to give back and make it even better for the residents coming after them. And 2 shutdowns are scheduled in late August as usual. Cornerstone will shut down for a couple of days for some deep cleaning. And Veterans Rink will also close for just the routine maintenance that they do every year. And they try and get in some of the smaller capital improvements. They try and squeeze those in during that week so that people aren't inconvenienced. And the last item is that we are planning a field trip to the Stanley Driving Range on Thursday, followed by a visit to Rockledge. And we're working with a company to just help us with what's feasible and how much would certain things cost and what's not feasible in terms of that space. So that's kind of an ongoing project, but we're in touch with both the top tracer, they cover the T's, and as well as kind of the advice that we're receiving from other communities. And that is my report. I'm happy to answer questions.
Great, thank you so much. Are there questions from my colleagues? Or comments? I know we're all looking forward to the field trip, so thank you for coordinating that, and thanks to those of us, those of you who will be able to join. I know it's a very, very busy week around here, and I appreciate people taking the time to do this so that we can learn more about how other towns are doing the driving range and what we might be able to either replicate or improve upon. So thank you for that. No other questions or comments? All right, so what's next is, I seem to have lost the agenda, sorry. We did, I lost the agenda. I think are we at the end of the agenda? Sorry.
We are.
Yeah, we are. So, any requests for future agenda items? And if not, meeting without objection, meeting is adjourned at 6:02 p.m. Thanks so much, everybody, and we'll see you in a couple of days.